Hi, I'm Dr. Lori Barr, and I would like to take some time to thank you for going ahead and registering to be considered for the Practice Growth Mastermind. I'm really excited that you've taken that step, and I want to tell you a little bit about what the Mastermind is and what we have to offer. But first, let's talk a little bit about the realities facing chiropractors, dentists, and doctors in private practice today. With staffing shortages that are making it hard to find and keep quality team members, payer issues that become even more complex now that AI is the primary determinant of whether or not reimbursement occurs, rising costs, expenses that are climbing faster than revenue, or the many other stressors that lead to distress, dis-ease, chronic elevated cortisol, chronic disease, chronic inflammation, and ultimately increased all-cause mortality for physicians and for dentists and for chiropractors. Burnout is real. Thousands of practices and clinics are stalling or even going backwards, yet you do not have to face this alone. There is an alternative. You see, successful chiropractors, doctors, and dentists have one thing in common. They know they don't have all the answers, so they surround themselves with people who walk their talk and have already been there. They find mentors who help them avoid mistakes and increase their influence. A little bit about my journey with mentors and masterminds. I'm a practicing radiologist. Pediatric radiology is my subspecialty. And my career began at UTMB in Galveston, Texas, where I had great mentors. And I actually had the opportunity to have my first academic appointment there as a resident and as a fellow because I was given the opportunity to teach the physician assistants radiology. So that was my introduction into academic medicine. I've had an academic appointment ever since. I started my career in academics at the University of Cincinnati as an assistant professor, and then 5 years later became an associate professor with tenure in radiology and pediatrics. During that time, I was doing basic research, clinical research, teaching, and patient care, of course, and became a Radiological Society of North America research scholar. After that, I left and went into private practice in 1999, where I eventually had students who were rotating through with us, and we were able to arrange professorships through the University of Texas, San Antonio, and the University of Texas Medical Branch at Galveston. Depending on your rank, my rank was associate professor at that time still. All that grant experience I got from being an RSNA scholar and doing my basic research, I leveraged that into working with the Foundation for the Children's Hospital of Austin. We got a grant through the Dell Foundation to redo the radiology department of the Children's Hospital of Austin, to redo the department in 1999 when I first came to Austin. And we did such a good job at reporting back to them using my grant writing skills that when it came time to build a new children's hospital, they were happy to partner with the Children's Hospital of Austin Foundation, the Seton Foundation, and what then became Ascension to go ahead and build the Dell Children's Hospital of Austin. And then later, when they were ready to invest in healthcare again, they were the major sponsor for the medical school at the University of Texas at Austin. It's the Dell Medical School. So at that institution, I had a rank of associate professor of medical diagnostics the last few years I was in Austin. Now, in 2020, I transitioned to private practice in Florida so I could be closer to my parents as they lived out the last years of their life on our family farm in North Alabama. And here, I've had a rank of professor of clinical medicine with Florida State University, Pensacola campus. So very happy to have had a nice long career in academic medicine, as well as reaping the fruits of private practice. Private practice success. After I went to Austin, our group was about 47 people when I joined it. Over the 19-year period I was there, we scaled it to over 100 partners and associates. Very busy practice, one of the most efficient practices in North America, and we sold it for 7 figures per partner to a national radiology practice. Now, since I left that practice, the new practice I joined in Florida, I've been here for 6 years, and over those 6 years, we've also scaled to over 100 partners and associates, and we're one of the most effective and efficient practices within that national radiology practice. So very proud of that private practice success. Business success, I've had partnerships. I'm very entrepreneurial. I've had success, I've scaled, and I've sold in the sectors of agriculture, authorship, coaching, consulting, education, digital products, physical products, publishing, real estate, investments, and oil and gas. And what I've learned over all of that is that continuous personal growth and professional growth is essential if you want to enjoy all of this activity. So I also have over 30 years experience facilitating mastermind groups of a certain type, of the classic type described by Napoleon Hill in Think and Grow Rich. And that's using a proven method to create better listeners and receivers. And I have personally invested in masterminds with entrepreneurs who are always one step ahead of where I was. And the members in the current masterminds I invest in, those members typically make between $50,000 and $100,000 a month on average. So I surround myself with people who are successful, so I level up. And I also am involved facilitating mastermind groups for people who are leveling up. Why did I invest in masterminds? Well, here's one example. While I was a resident, I had the opportunity to do some publishing of papers, scientific papers, peer-reviewed papers. And then as a fellow, had the opportunity to write my first book. That was published with a traditional publisher the first year I was in practice. And that gave me some publishing experience with books. However, at the end of that decade, at the end of the 90s, I felt called to write a book for lay press that I called Think and Grow Well eventually. And that was different. Publishing was changing. And I joined a group of authors and publishers, and the very first day that we met live, that saved 5 years of trial and error with me trying to master self-publishing, hybrid publishing, and traditional publishing. So I'm very thankful for that. We have a very successful publishing business now that I'm very proud of. I mentioned before, when we sold our practice in Austin, a lot of what went into growing that practice was applying techniques that I'd learned in these mastermind environments I'd been in, combined with ideas from my other partners who were doing similar things. And as practice leaders on the executive committee, we would make decisions that would influence the practice and take us in directions where we were continuing to grow and get over hurdles that we were experiencing. So to sell that for 7 figures per partner was a huge success. And then finally, as I mentioned, it's the ability to learn from entrepreneurs who are achieving at a high level consistently. Basically, I paid whatever it took to surround myself with mentors whose expertise complemented my own so that I could level up faster than going alone. And you have that opportunity too. So what if practicing what you love could be fun and easy again? Or maybe you haven't experienced it as fun and easy ever. It really can be fun and easy. I've enjoyed every year of my 42 years, and I can count on these 10 fingers when I've had bad days. When you join the 2026 Practice Growth Mastermind, you become a medical maverick. And this allows you to step beyond stress and shallow gains, join the Practice Growth Mastermind, and transform yourself into a medical maverick and your practice into a thriving business where profits soar, time is yours, and your expertise creates lasting impact. What makes a medical maverick? Well, this is somebody who transforms themselves into an influential healthcare leader who commands respect and authority in your field while delivering exceptional patient care. The radiologist the anesthesiologist, the chiropractor, the dentist, the generalist, the hospitalist, who transforms themselves into a visionary entrepreneur and builds a practice and or a business that runs profitably without consuming your life. And the doctor, dentist, or chiropractor who transforms themselves into the recognized authority and establish yourself as the go-to expert that patients and peers trust. That makes a medical maverick. You see, at the Doctor's Mentor LLC, we're committed to assisting the next generation of practice owners as you thrive. Regarding your health, we want you to live vitally, eliminating burnout and reclaiming your well-being. Your wealth, we want you to scale profits and build lasting financial freedom. And speaking of freedom, our desire is that you own your time and live life on your terms. Medical mavericks aren't just surviving, they're thriving as respected professionals and visionary entrepreneurs. So the question is, are you ready to break through? You see, you have a choice. You can stay stuck in the grind with constant burnout and stressors, operational bottlenecks, plateaued growth, and being trapped with your time totally invested in your practice, exchanging your life for hourly work, or you can transform into the medical maverick who is at the next level, where your practice scales easily, your profits soar consistently, legacy grows daily, and you experience entrepreneurial freedom. That's the question. Are you ready, and are you willing to invest time, money, and influence into transforming yourself to the next version of you who's ready to accept the desired outcomes you see for yourself? The 12-month Practice Growth Mastermind is your gateway to transforming clinical excellence into a lasting fulfillment. It starts with you creating your personalized growth blueprint. And this is a deep dive assessment, not done alone, but done with the help of your mastermind peers and me, where you map where you are and where your practice is today. Really looking at the processes with the goal of simplification, because we've got to create space and protect that space if you want to transform into your next version of you, and if you want your practice to transform into the next version of it. After you do that assessment, then you'll get clear on your vision and define your one-year destination, where you want to be at the end of a year. What is that desired outcome? And then finally, it's all about practical plans, stepwise strategies for success as you go from where you are to where you want to be, as you transform yourself into that person who is ready to receive the blessings of the desired outcome you have set for yourself in your practice. And that is true whether you're scaling to 7 figures, launching new services, or building a sellable asset. Your vision becomes a reality. And this is all done by simplifying systems so that you get powerful results in areas like profit optimization, where you can unlock new revenue streams and maximize your margins, or in patient flow, where you can streamline operations and automate systems, or in visibility and reputation, where you can build authority and attract ideal patients, whether that's through the use of books, podcasts, other media. We've got that covered. And team strength. Creating high-performance teams with high-performing hybrid human and AI dyads. Augmented intelligence is here to assist us in doing our best at what humans do best, and allowing AI to do what it does best. It's a matter of figuring out what that is in your setting. And, in the portal, you'll see engaging modules that are designed for your busyness. You only look at what helps you at the time you need it. You're not going through a whole litany of things that don't apply to you at the time you're taking action. So that takes complexity out of practice growth with logical, actionable steps at the right time for the right reason with the right amount of energy. And this is for every stage of practice growth, whether you're just starting out and assembling your hybrid humid AI team and building foundations, or if you're scaling up from 30 million and pushing toward 100 million and beyond. Sound business foundations and AI are what's working right now if you're savvy about implementation. So let's talk about the difference between our mastermind and most masterminds. So in general, if you're not familiar, masterminds range in cost from $500 a year to $100,000 a year or more in some cases. And some actually have requirements for you to recruit members into the mastermind. Some are huge, up to 700 or 800 members, while others are very tiny, like maybe only 3 to 5 members. The real issue I see with many masterminds, and I've participated in many different masterminds over the years, is that sometimes the person who leads them may be a great public speaker, and they may be super enthusiastic, and boy, those motivational speeches really make you feel good. But there's not a lot of real strategy and action steps. And feeling good does not make money. Instead, we provide tactical work that pushes your practice forward with real strategies for lasting success at reasonable prices with reasonable expectations for busy professionals. We want private practice owners to succeed, not just feel good after a break from the office. Your mastermind experience consists of the following components. The first and most exciting to me is the 4 quarterly 2-day implementation getaways. Now, you're not going away to an exotic place with hundreds of people, only with a carefully curated group of no more than 30 people designed to complement your knowledge. These getaways take place in interesting places that have something unique to offer you, so you transform. And it's a chance to really get something done over a weekend away from your practice. Secondly, you'll get access to the Medical Mavericks Mastermind portal. And in that portal, you'll access the recorded conferences. You'll see opportunities for training sprints related to business and marketing growth. And then you'll also see business building and practice scaling resources that you can implement when you need them. The third component are the virtual sessions. And these consist of 12 monthly virtual mastermind accelerators where we actually are doing the work of masterminding, becoming great listeners, using our intuition, feeding back information to people that they don't know they've communicated to us, using the synergy of using our minds together on focused topics to create more creation energy and give us great ideas that wouldn't come otherwise if we weren't working in a mastermind. And then 52 weekly virtual co-working sessions where you come on to the conference line and just spend an hour either asking questions and listening to the answers that other people are getting, or you turn down the volume and just hang out there, using it as an accountability hour where if you have a question, you can turn up the volume and ask it. But otherwise, you are just there to use the co-working space, knowing you're surrounded by your mastermind partners. So these are opportunities to check in with mastermind partners, share challenges, get feedback from peers who are scaling rapidly, and give feedback to peers who need your assistance. A little more about the quarterly implementation getaways. They're 4 times a year. It's 2-day immersive experiences. It's ideal if you're ready to build and launch something, or if you're ready to stop doing something. And it lets you perfect every growth strategy face to face. You leave energized with a detailed action plan for your next major leap, and you step out of the day-to-day operations to focus your time, your energy, and your influence on exactly what's needed in your practice, whether it's a time issue, income issue, systems issue, or impact issue. And these getaways make transformation absolutely inevitable. The 12 monthly virtual mastermind accelerator sessions, as I've already said, it's a proven facilitated mastermind method where you listen at a deeper level so you hear more than just words and you learn to communicate that back to the person who shared it. You deeply feel joy and gratitude as you celebrate wins. You ask for what you need in a safe, supportive, non-judgmental environment, and you tap into greater creative energy that the synergy of the mastermind actually creates. It's not an accountability circle. It's active mastermind creation where your wins are celebrated and struggles are supported at a deep level of loving kindness. It's pretty amazing. The 52-week virtual co-working sessions are facilitated virtual conferences where you ask questions and get expert answers. You listen to others solve similar challenges. You passively attend while working on growth steps if you want to, and you build momentum with accountability. This isn't passive learning, it's active mentoring where you work through your next steps with comradeship and support. So your complete growth playbook lives inside the portal. There are ready-to-use templates with proven systems you can implement immediately. There are media strategies so you can build visibility and attract ideal patients. And there are wealth-building strategies so you create influence and it extends beyond your office. You access everything you need to boost your profits and transform your practice into the business you've always deserved and that you desire. So now is the time to make the commitment to reinvent yourself as a medical maverick. Automate your workflows so you free your time with systems that run themselves. Improve your practice value so you're building a sellable business asset. And enjoy ownership again. Rediscover why you started your practice, what you fell in love with. It's your opportunity to trade stress for momentum. This is a 12-month transformation process. It's a comprehensive mastermind program designed for practice owners who are ready to scale and ready to become what they need to be to reap the blessings of that change in their practice. It's not for somebody who's comfortable where they are and is just looking for a group to be around. There's limited space available. It's an intimate group of no more than 30 curated members so that you get personalized attention and meaningful connections. That means we really try hard to screen out people who are energy vampires and time hogs. And we want people who are kind and loving and supportive to nurture each other into the success we desire. Your legacy awaits. It's time for you to transform your clinic into the thriving business and intentionally create the lifestyle you desire and you deserve. Now, if you're ready for that step, I can't wait to talk to you so that you can see how you can invest in this opportunity to join the Practice Growth Mastermind and become the next medical maverick. I can't wait to be on the call with you.